On the groom's wedding day, he was unexpectedly stopped by the bride's relatives and friends, who suddenly raised the demands on the spot, asking for 30 cartons of soft Zhonghua cigarettes, plus a 30,000 yuan bride leaving home fee. If the conditions were not met, he would not even get to see the bride. More than 20 people formed a wedding blocking team, holding sticks and bricks, swearing to squeeze the groom for every last bit of value. 30 cartons of soft Zhonghua cigarettes would cost at least more than 20,000 yuan, and they would have to be reserved in advance. Adding a 30,000 yuan red envelope, before he even saw the bride, 50,000 yuan had already gone up in smoke. The bride's side originally thought they could easily control the groom and make him obey, but they did not expect the groom to be a tough guy, and what he did the next second made the bride's side regret it deeply. Why are there so many cases nowadays where the bride's side suddenly adds demands at the wedding and asks for outrageous prices? People wanted to hold a proper wedding, but now some women want to squeeze the remaining value out of the groom as much as possible. Mr. Wu married his longtime girlfriend. According to local customs, before dawn broke, he hurriedly got up to eat, put on new clothes, and rushed to the wedding pickup location. Originally high-spirited and confident of success, he arrived at the scene only to be collectively blocked by the bridesmaids and the bride's relatives and friends. With more than 20 people forming a wedding blocking group, it was clear they were serious. On the day the groom went to pick up the bride, he was blocked at the door by 20 people who demanded 30 cartons of soft Zhonghua cigarettes. With one move, the groom made the wedding fall apart. The bride's side not only locked the main door from the inside, but also blocked the stairway, demanding soft Zhonghua cigarettes face to face, and also demanding a 30,000 yuan bride leaving home red envelope. They claimed that everything had to be fully prepared before they would let him through, otherwise the sticks and bricks in their hands would show no mercy. Mr. Wu then realized that the people blocking the wedding were all holding sticks and bricks, which was truly frightening. Someone who did not know better might have thought he had gone to a battlefield and run into enemies. Faced with such unreasonable demands, Mr. Wu could only smile bitterly. The retail price of one carton of soft Zhonghua cigarettes is at least 700 yuan, totaling more than 20,000 yuan, and bulk purchases from tobacco specialty stores require special approval, making casual resale impossible. Adding another 30,000 yuan red envelope brought the total to more than 50,000 yuan. They might as well have asked for 50,000 yuan directly. Mr. Wu tried to communicate with the wedding blocking group but got nowhere. He then sat downstairs with the groomsmen and played cards to pass the time, appearing completely calm and unhurried. As time passed, neither side was willing to give in. By 12:30 p.m., Mr. Wu could no longer endure it and asked the bride's relatives and friends whether this wedding could still happen, but the answer he received was still no. On the day the groom went to pick up the bride, he was blocked at the door by 20 people demanding 30 cartons of soft Zhonghua cigarettes. With one decisive move, the groom caused the wedding to collapse. At the time, the bride's family stated clearly that if the Zhonghua cigarettes and the money were not in place, then everything was off the table. Upon hearing this, Mr. Wu became furious, took the groomsmen and the wedding convoy, and drove away, quickly disappearing from everyone's sight. The elderly women watching nearby all felt it had turned into a huge joke, and many of them applauded. The wedding ended in failure that very day. The two sides have remained in a cold war ever since, and the marriage is completely over. The bride's side lost all face. Why do some brides' families nowadays love to add demands at the last minute and ask for outrageous prices? This is precisely where their calculations lie. They know that by the wedding day, the groom has already invested a great deal of money and invited many relatives and friends, leaving him with no room to retreat. At this moment, The bride's side raises excessive demands and threatens to cancel the marriage, forcing the groom to agree reluctantly in order to save the situation. But once they go too far, the loss is not limited to the groom. The bride's side also ends up paying the price. This is a gamble, a small calculation to squeeze out more money. When faced with last-minute demands such as getting out of the car fees, bride leaving home fees, Zhonghua cigarettes, or luxury jewelry, how should people respond? Let us continue and look at another victim. In the footage, an older woman stands in front of the wedding pickup team, blocking their way. She wears a stern expression throughout, radiating anger, while holding up a payment QR code and demanding money from everyone present. It is understood that this woman is the bride's aunt. On the wedding day, she stood in front of the bride's room wearing a red flower, presenting a posture of one person guarding the gate, 10,000 cannot pass. She angrily accused the guests of trying to cheat and displayed the QR code, demanding that anyone who wanted to enter and pick up the bride must scan it, with each person required to pay 200 yuan. Her expression was serious, and she clearly was not joking. The atmosphere at the scene immediately became extremely awkward. Seeing this, one of the groomsmen immediately tried to smooth things over and urged everyone to scan the code quickly. Someone then handed over a red envelope, but the aunt slapped it away on the spot, saying she only accepted QR code payments and would not take cash, while keeping a dark expression the entire time. Once this incident was exposed, it sparked heated discussions online. Some netizens questioned whether this was really a biological aunt or a fake one, and whether this was a wedding or a funeral. Others said this aunt looked like she had come specifically to sabotage the event. Some commented that if you encounter such a grim gatekeeper, it might be better not to get married at all.
Recently, news about a groomsmen group lifting a car in Shaanxi Xianying also surged on trending searches. An off-road vehicle was parked directly in front of the wedding car, and the people involved demanded red envelopes along with 20 cartons of Zhonghua cigarettes. What was supposed to be a wedding turned into a money-making opportunity. This was not about festive customs at all, but outright robbery. Do not let the words traditional customs fool you anymore. Real wedding customs involve neighborhood children asking for candies or friends requesting small red envelopes, all voluntarily and purely for celebration. Today, however, some people in Hebei ask for 10 cartons of cigarettes, others in Hunan demand mobile phones, and there are even repeat offenders who deliberately wait for wedding convoys. Even after being detained, they dare to commit the same acts again. This behavior has long crossed the line into illegality. Lawyers have made it clear that blocking roads or doors unless money is paid constitutes, at the very least, a violation of the Public Security Administration Punishments Law, and at worst may amount to extortion or the offense of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. The repeat offender who blocked wedding cars in Hunan was detained for 13 days, recently precisely, because he refused to change his behavior. If the amount demanded exceeds legal thresholds, criminal liability will also apply. Why does this continue to happen repeatedly? Simply put, these people exploit the newlyweds' fear of delays and their desire to avoid conflict. In the past, punishments were often limited to criticism and education, which lacked sufficient deterrence. But now things are changing. More and more couples are choosing to stand their ground, either by decisively calling the police and preserving evidence, or by directly canceling the wedding, just like the groomsmen group at the beginning of the video. This is the most effective way to fight back against bad customs. A wedding's good fortune has never come from compromise, but from sincere blessings. Those who use folk customs as a pretext to demand money should not assume that the law will overlook their actions simply because there are many of them. The law does not tolerate such harmful practices. I support civilized, voluntary wedding customs, and I support zero tolerance for malicious roadblocking. What do you think?